Eureka John, Eureka Street Crypto Hub, broadcasting from Leander, Texas, and it is April 16th, 2021. It is 9:39 at night. Now, I normally don't broadcast at night. As you know, I have a morning show that I've been broadcasting consecutively every morning, but I have two formats. I have my morning show and I have my project-oriented shows, and you have clicked on a project-oriented episode, and in this episode we're going to cover the pirate chain and the ARRR token. So I just I pick ones and projects that interest me, and I decide to go a little more in depth on some projects than I do in just my morning show. And this particular one stood out to me, so I wanted to get on it and cover it a little bit more in depth because there was more than I could just talk about in one morning show. And my cover photo here, I'm not really a big fan of just pirate stuff. I know there's a whole subculture of pirate people, and they just love pirate everything, and it's not really been one of my things. And this photo here with Judge Reinhold at Fast Times at Ridgemont High, he hated his fast food restaurant job where he had to dress up as a pirate. And when I was waiting tables, my restaurant made everybody dress up as a pirate theme one time for a pirate day, and I didn't particularly love it. So I expressed myself in my best Judge Reinhold pirate costume, and there it is right there. But anyway, so that expresses how I feel about pirate stuff. But this is different. I will take pirate culture in the form of a private blockchain. So here I am, Eureka John, talks privacy, anonymous transactions, and the pirate chain. Because, well, it's our responsibility. Learn it, know it, live it. So that is the pirate chain. And let's dig in here. Let's take a look. So, what are the fundamentals of a pirate life? It's the fervent desire for freedom and the right to live a life free from oppression by a broken system. Not to mention a lot of them were crooks who just wanted to make a buck as well. But we'll ignore that last part. We'll actually go into the private ARRR token and the pirate chain here. Privacy has always been a core value of the crypto anarchist philosophy, and Bitcoin started out amongst a bunch of crypto punks and cyberpunks and crypto anarchists and libertarians and people who wanted to be free from the banking system. And that's what Bitcoin is based on. Bitcoin itself was designed to be pseudonymous, but its privacy protecting features are insufficient to protect users from blockchain analysis. And there's a lot of technology coming out right now by governmental agencies that include very complex blockchain analysis. So anyway, Pirate Chain is a digital privacy currency and it was created on August 29th of 2018. The goal is very simple, to create a complete anonymous cryptocurrency that's secure, untraceable, and it keeps the identities of those who transact with it anonymous. I first heard of Pirate Chain, I was watching Jack Spiro talk about the ARRR blockchain, and he mentioned that his favorite project is Pirate Chain. And Jack Spiro is a survivalist YouTuber, I believe, and I was watching his video on the ARRR blockchain. I did a previous video on the ARRR blockchain, another cool project, kind of like a WordPress of blockchain, but that's a whole other video. So anyway, the Pirate Chain is, so far from what I've seen, the most secure private blockchain that is out there. Secret Network is also a privacy blockchain, but that's more geared towards decentralized finance and DeFi and those types of applications and front running on exchanges. And I have an entire video I did a few days back that covered what front running is. It's basically legalized pickpocketing, on the exchanges. But Pirate Chain is more of a transactional cryptocurrency along the lines of Monero and Zcash. And to me, I think it takes the best of both worlds of Monero and of Zcash, and it combines those, and it is built on what's called the Komodo platform, and that is also forked out originally from Zcash, and which was forked out from Bitcoin. So everything trickles back down to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is king. I won't deny that. Even though the Bitcoin maxis say Bitcoin is the only one, no, it is the root. It is not necessarily all the branches and the fruit. So anyway, that's just a whole other debate. Anyway, Pirate Chain does not leak any transaction metadata. It allows every transaction to stay private. Proof of this is given on the Blockchain Explorer, where you can see the transactions that occur. All cryptocurrencies have a Blockchain Explorer, and it basically shows every transaction that is going, that has happened, and the nature of blockchains allows transparency, and public blockchains allow everybody to see every transaction. You don't necessarily know who they are because it's the cryptographic public key that is being used. Unless you know what somebody's public key is by memory, or you have it written down, then you won't know who it is. But large governmental agencies have crypto analysis, blockchain analysis tools that can track those public keys and figure out who's done what transactions and when and how many times. So anyway, let's see if I can find this Blockchain Explorer. I have like a million different windows open here, but one second. As you can see right here, the Blockchain Explorer only shows the transaction. It shows the transaction size and the block height, the block number, and when it was done. It doesn't show how much was transacted, and it doesn't show where it came from or where it's going. So that's just the nature of this Blockchain Explorer on the Pirate blockchain. And you can compare this with Etherscan. This is the Ethereum Blockchain Explorer. Every single blockchain has an Explorer, but here, it shows how much ETH was transacted here, from which address to which address, and how long ago, and all that stuff. So that's just to compare and contrast between a Pirate blockchain Explorer and then the Ethereum. So you can definitely immediately see the privacy feature there. So anyway, Pirate Chain does not leak the transaction metadata, allowing every transaction to stay private. Proof of this is given on the Block Explorer, as I just showed you. When you view the Block Explorer, you'll notice that transactions occur, but the addresses they are sent from are not there, the address they are sent to are not there, and the amount transacted is not shown, only the transaction fee. This is one of many proofs that show users that their data is safe and private. Mining the Pirate Chain, you can mine this chain. It's a delayed proof of work, and I'll get into what delayed means. But proof of work is what Bitcoin uses. There's proof of work and proof of stake. They're both two different ways that blockchains right now are built with, and proof of work is what Bitcoin uses, Litecoin, Zcash. A lot of the earlier blockchains are built with proof of work mechanisms, and it basically uses your computer's hashing power as kind of a contest to the person who solves the algorithm first gets to solve the problem and complete the transaction and complete the block and find the block for that transaction. And that's how proof of work uses. It's very energy intensive, but the way delayed proof of work works, and using the Zcash and the Komodo platform, it is a lot less energy intensive than Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin does get some bad publicity for being very energy intensive, but when you actually bring it down to the brass tacks, compare Bitcoin's energy consumption with a lot of other applications such as Visa transactions worldwide, they don't really, Bitcoin doesn't really pan out to be that much more wasteful at all, or as wasteful, or even it's less wasteful than what we are currently running our systems on. So I think a lot of that is just FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt against Bitcoin, because the banking institution definitely does not want cryptocurrency in its form right now, as the crypto anarchists have made it, to succeed. They want to bring it out in their own way by CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and they do not want this decentralization of finance to come into full fruition. But you know what? It's a little too late because it's already happening. Yep. Sorry, guys. Right now we are witnessing the greatest wealth transfer in history. This is why I'm buying into cryptocurrency. We're seeing hyperinflation happen right before our eyes with fiat currency, which is our dollar. Any type of government or Federal Reserve currency is called fiat currency, and they are hyperinflating the heck out of it. It is crashing, the system is crumbling, and everything is going towards decentralized finance and decentralized currency and cryptocurrency. And it is a huge wealth transfer in trillions and trillions and trillions, if not quadrillions of dollars, once you count in derivatives and everything like that, are streaming into cryptocurrency. And all we got to do is just put the net out by investing in some of these projects. And what I'm here to do is to try to find the good projects. And this is just a video blog for me, and I'm learning as I go along as well. So I'm not some kind of professional on this. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just figuring this out as I go along, and I want to share this information with you because it's super important. I mean, you don't want the dollar to completely be pulled out from under you and you're stuck with nothing. And you also don't want to be under complete 100% surveillance at all time under some kind of Fed coin that's going to dictate when you get money, where you can spend it, how fast you have to spend it. Say you have a high blood pressure and cholesterol issue, it would restrict you from ordering a double pepperoni pizza if you wanted to. I mean, just think of all this stuff. So it is our responsibility to adopt and embrace privacy and to learn about privacy, steps we can take towards our own privacy and to be able, and our financial independence and our financial privacy. Pirate Chain was created and continuously developed by many people, including the lead developer of the Komodo platform, which I mentioned, Bitcoin contributors, Zcash developers, and way more, all of which have contributed to Pirate Chain in their own time without any financial incentive aside from building the world's most secure and platform and secure cryptocurrency. It's because they're passionate about it, and they're most of them are anonymous, and it's a completely open source, non-profit. And they are just trying to create an alternative economy from a different fork in the road from the way that we're going down right now with all this great reset and the surveillance society and everything that is happening right now. They want to create some kind of alternative. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the beginning of creating an alternative economy to everything that they're trying to push on us right now, especially with this vaccine passports and these segregated societies that they're trying to form with medical segregation. It's just insane. So there's got to be other ways and other alternatives. It's a part of our human rights. And the Pirate Chain believes that financial privacy is a human right that should not be infringed on. In fact, this message is so powerful and resonates among so many people. Pirate Chain has various developers from a wide variety of backgrounds, web developers, app developers, writers, store owners, streamers, etc. I'm a streamer, to help with the adoption and bringing it to the mainstream. So, and there's even, there's a way right now that they're building, they have it out now, it's a completely different operating system. If you don't feel comfortable using a Windows operating system or your iOS or even Linux, you can get their Ghost Ship operating system on a flash drive, plug it in, do your transactions on a separate flash drive, and then unplug it when you're done. And they've created an operating system for that, Ghost Ship, and then Galleon operating system is on deck to be made, and it'll have more features. But Pirate Token did start with a fair public launch. There were no pre-mined coins, and there was not an initial coin offering. While many cryptocurrencies, including other privacy projects, levy a tax on mining rewards, Pirate doesn't impose any fees on any block rewards. The total R, that's the token symbol, ARRR, will number just under 210 million. So that's actually pretty low when you compare it to other high cap coins like VeChain. I believe has like 80 billion tokens or something like that. It's insane. Block time is approximately 60 seconds, and reward halving will occur every 388,885 blocks, or about 270 days. So they have halvings just like Bitcoin. And what halving is basically the reward for finding a block is cut in half. And so creates deflation. So it solves an inflation problem. Bitcoin, the only number that ever has is 21 million. So this is 210 million. So it's a little bit more. Kind of shows that maybe it's the higher number shows that it's working towards being more of a transactional currency, where Bitcoin is more of a store of value. So I don't know. It's my only kind of guess on that. Anyway, yeah. What does a pirate chain solve? Yes, it solves privacy, but it also solves a fungibility problem. So let's take a quick look here. I found a cool article on what the fungibility problem is. It's on Brave New Coin here. So what is fungibility, first of all? For a good currency to function as a medium of exchange and to be considered sound money, it must be durable, divisible, portable, uniform, acceptable, and limited in supply, and then finally fungible. So I'll link all these sources that I'm using down in the description of the video. So don't worry if you aren't following along, or you want to go read and double check some of the sources or learn a little more about what I'm talking about. So they'll be in the description. But fungibility is the property of a good or a commodity whose individual units are essentially interchangeable, and each part of it is just indistinguishable from another part. So basically, fiat possesses this feature, unquestionably. Fiat is very fungible. So a $10 bill in my pocket is acceptable everywhere, regardless of its history. Doesn't matter if it once belonged to a criminal. Once the note makes its way to you, it's free from its historical transactions, dubious or not. So a $10 bill is a $10 bill is a $10 bill wherever you go. That's not the case with, let's say, a baseball card, right? This is Sportflix from 1980. This is like the original GIF, 1987 Sportflix. See, Tony Fernandez. Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway, this is non-fungible, just like the NFTs that you've been hearing about everywhere. Non-fungible tokens. It means they're unique, and NFTs have a cryptographic hash associated with them that makes them unique, and you can own that piece of digital art. Well, if you want a transactional currency and you want sound money, you don't want it to be non-fungible. You want it to be fungible. So, unfortunately, the reality today is Bitcoin was trying to be fungible, but with all this crypto analysis and blockchain analysis tools and companies and firms and all that stuff, there's a bunch of advanced tools out there. Blockchain is not fungible anymore. It means that it's now possible to trace the transaction history of Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies and the individuals who use them. The fungibility of the Bitcoin network began to be questioned as early as 2015, when a blockchain firm began to provide brand new Bitcoins to its customers at a premium, referred to as virgin Bitcoin. These units of Bitcoin are acquired directly from the miner and fetch a pretty penny, as they are sold at a premium above current market prices. By buying freshly minted Bitcoin, an investor can be assured that the Bitcoin in question has no history as a payment on the dark web or in a ransomware case, for example. So yeah, in 2019, Charlie Lee, I'm not sure he admitted, but he admitted that due to technological advancements, fungibility was lacking in both digital gold and digital silver. He tweeted, "Fungibility is the only property of sound money that is missing from Bitcoin and Litecoin. Now that the scaling debate is behind us, the next battleground will be on fungibility and privacy." And he was very true about that. So enter things like Monero and Zcash, and now we have Pirate Chain, Secret Network, and now we have Pirate Chain. So actually, Pirate Chain was before Secret Network. So let's see here. So yeah, that's Pirate Chain solves this fungibility problem and basically eliminates, by this blockchain explorer that I showed you, any type of history that can be associated with it, because you can't see the transactions. So that's just one of the great things here. So let's move on here. So how is Pirate Chain secure? it uses what's called zk-SNARKS, and this is a concept that was really hard to get around my head. So I've had to do some digging, and I've been trying to figure out what zk-SNARKS are for a while. They're also being implemented in a lot of cases in Ethereum and in other types of tokens. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on about what zk-SNARKS are. So I will start from the very basic, okay? There is a Alibaba cave parable. So in 1990, a paper entitled How to Explain Zero Knowledge Protocols to Your Children was published by cryptographer Jean-Jacques Quiescatar. I think that's how you spell it. Or Quiescatar. Jean-Jacques Quiescatar. Okay, all right, along with some other collaborators. The paper introduces the concept of ZK proofs with a parable involving Alibaba's cave. So basically, let's imagine a ring-shaped cave with a single entry and a magic doorway that separates the two side paths apart. In order to go through the magic doorway, one needs to whisper the correct secret words. So consider that Alice wants to prove Bob and Blue over here that she knows what the secret words to get through that doorway on the other side is. She enters the cave and walks in until the end of one of the two possible paths. In this example, she decides to go through path 1. So Bob over here, she's back at the doorway, and in order to prove that she knows the password, Bob has to randomly guess a door that she has to reappear from. So he shouts door number 2, and if she does know the secret, then she can open that door and come out of path 2 here. And then he's like, okay, you do know the secret phrase, so everything's all good. So it's basically a way to assert that something is correct without actually seeing the object or the answer. So without the third party seeing the answer or the other party. So zk-SNARKS are a way to do that with transactions. So let me go through some of this here. What properties should a zk-SNARK satisfy? It has to be complete. If the statement is true and the verifier and prover are honest, the proof is accepted. And it has to be sound. If the statement is false, a cheating prover cannot convince an honest verifier that it is true except with some tiny probability. In addition to the above, a zk-SNARK, zero knowledge, succinct, non-interactive argument of knowledge, needs to be 1. Zero knowledge. If the statement is true, a verifier does not learn anything beyond the fact that the statement is true. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up so you can follow along. Because I got my handy little notes. It's not fair that you don't get to see it either. Okay, so so completeness and soundness right here. In addition to the above, a zk-SNARK, zero knowledge, succinct, non-interactive argument of knowledge needs to be zero knowledge. If the statement is true, a verifier does not learn anything beyond the fact that the statement is true. Succinct, the size of the proof needs to be small enough to be verified in a few milliseconds. Non-interactive, only one set of information is sent to the verifier for verification. There is no back and forth communication between prover and verifier. So, and then argument, a computationally sound proof. Soundness holds against a prover that leverages a polynomial time. And then of knowledge, the proof cannot be constructed without access to the witness, the private input needed to prove the statement. So so they go through the example of it here as well, the same thing about a bank transaction happening and creating a smart contract on Ethereum, and basically she logs into her program and it goes to the smart contract, and then the bank agent never has to see the information on the smart contract. They can only see that the smart contract has been confirmed on his end, so he doesn't have to see the actual information. So all she has to do is just call him and give the green light to do the transaction, because he got the answer from the smart contract instead of all her personal information directly from her. And they are working with zk-SNARKS and a bunch of ID technology and stuff like that, so somebody can carry around their ID kind of as a vaccine or digital passport without having all their personal information on it. So this is kind of a double-edged sword. It can be used for good, and it can be used for privacy, and it can also be used to create all these things like these vaccine passports and all this other stuff that I'm not crazy about. So But that's just my opinion, man. Yeah, I will link again this in the description. I have to move on from zk-SNARKS here, but you get the idea that it is very succinct and super strong encryption technology, and you can go way down a rabbit hole down zk-SNARKS and about cryptography and everything like that. The other major private blockchain, Monero, uses what's called a ring signature. And a ring signature basically doesn't hide the transactions, but it has a bunch of transactions out there in the open, but you don't know which transaction it is. Kind of like it's called a ring signature because in the ancient times, in ancient China, whenever a villager wants to do a petition, they would all sign the petition in a big circle. So they could never see who started the petition, so the government could never go after any one particular individual as the ringleader. You see, so if everybody's name was in a circle, they could never see a hierarchy of who started the bad proposal or the revolt or the petition or whatever that the government did not agree to. So it's kind of an anonymous way to create a petition. So that's basically what Monero is based on, and that is also very secure, but it has its holes in security as well. So, and that would be a whole other rabbit hole to go down. So anyway, let's move on. So now that we figured out and I've expressed what type of cryptography it uses for security, now let's talk about the delayed proof of work that is used to do the block transactions and to mine this cryptocurrency. Pirate is an asset chain. It's an independent asset chain of the Komodo platform ecosystem. So the Komodo project, it focuses on empowering blockchain entrepreneurs and the average cryptocurrency user with freedom and ease of use through blockchain technology. Now let me go over here. I did actually read their white paper. So so here it is, the structure of how Pirate Chain works with Komodo blockchain. And then what delayed proof of work does is it just acts just like proof of work, in which it solves the algorithms and with the highest hash rate, and you have to have real high hash rate in order to be able to solve the problems, and then you could win the blocks. But delayed proof of work fights against 51% attacks. And what a 51% attack is 51% of the nodes all come to they get taken over by one particular entity, and they all come to the same conclusion against what the transaction was supposed to be. So people can hack and sabotage blockchains that way. And when they don't have a lot of nodes and participants in the very early startup part of a blockchain, it's not really that secure, and 51% attacks are really easy to do on young blockchains. So what Komodo has offered in their Komodo ecosystem is they've offered this delayed proof of work mechanism in which a new blockchain can kind of ride on top of the Komodo blockchain and use this delayed proof of work infrastructure. And what happens is, let me get over to my notes because there is no way I will possibly be able to regurgitate this. But basically, the Komodo project focuses on empowering blockchain entrepreneurs, new blockchains, and the average cryptocurrency users with freedom and ease of use through blockchain technology. Komodo began as a fork of the popular privacy coin Zcash. The Zcash project itself is a fork of Bitcoin. Thus, all the features designed by Satoshi Nakamoto in the Bitcoin protocol are also available in Komodo. Komodo's delayed proof of work mechanism recycles the hash rate of the Bitcoin network to protect all integrated blockchains on an equal level of security. So Bitcoin has so much hash power and so much hash rate that we don't want that power to just go to waste. So you can also use it for other blockchains to be able to create a more secure ecosystem for themselves by implementing delayed proof of work. And how this is done It's made possible by storing backups of individual blocks on the decentralized ledgers of other blockchain, including Bitcoin itself. So it's like a two-stage process. You know, the transaction is made and the hash is found, and then it's also notarized. So a backup copy of that hash is notarized, the backup copy of the block. So yeah, it's made possible by storing backups of individual blocks onto the decentralized ledgers of other blockchain, including Bitcoin itself. The process of storing backups in individual blocks onto another's blockchain ledger is called notarization. Komodo's decentralized network of 64 notary nodes carries out the technical work required to complete notarizations. Komodo's notary network and the op return command is Bitcoin's massive hash rate can be recycled to other secure blockchains. It's precisely what delayed proof of work does. Op return command allows a small amount of data to be directly saved on the blockchain ledger with a special transaction. And the special transaction is just a notarization saying, yes, this happened. The transaction requires a payment of one ordinary transaction fee, but does not actually move funds from one address to another. Instead, the op return transaction is made specifically to save a small amount of data onto the Bitcoin ledger, essentially adding a notary to the transaction that prevents the 51% attacks. So, if you did not follow me on that, I totally understand, but just know that it kind of does a transaction, and then it does a notarization of that transaction just to put that stamp of approval on there, just to prevent the 51 attack from somebody going back and altering the blockchain by taking over 51% or more of the network. Because that can happen if you don't have the notary there. Then then the notary nodes save the block hash from the Komodo chain onto the Bitcoin chain, and then since the block hash from every delegated proof of work secured chain is already stored on the Komodo chain, this single notarization extends not to just Komodo but to every chain using delayed proof of work security. So yeah, I know that was a mouthful, but thanks for hanging with me there. Newly formed proof of work blockchains are often vulnerable to outside of attacks, as I mentioned before. They have a little hash rate to protect themselves, so the peer-to-peer network isn't powerful enough to ward off attackers, and that's when the 51% attack comes in, and that's whenever this notarization is needed. Komodo helps mitigate this with the delayed proof of work blockchain security service. So basically it is delegated. Komodo platform is delegated proof of work as a service. So that's how Pirate Chain is not really, I mean, yes, it is based, it's its own independent blockchain from Komodo, but they use Komodo as their security and their delegated proof of work mechanism as a service. So it's kind of difficult to describe, but it makes perfect sense whenever you sit down and look at it. So yeah, here's a graph. I will be linking all this as well. I would highly suggest reading this white paper. It's super easy to read as far as white papers are concerned, and it's actually good. It lays everything out pretty well. It shows why Zcash isn't as private as we think it is, and then their solution for it. And then it talks about the fungibility issue right here. It talks about the Komodo asset chains and delegated proof of work. And then the mechanics of the proof of work. And then examples of attacks on the blockchains that have happened. And then here it goes into the sapling stuff. The sapling is the address, and it's a specific type of address for your public key. And if you aren't familiar with public keys and private keys, the Pirate Black blockchain, here's their website. Let me go back in here. They have some pretty good tutorials on let's see here, get started right here. You'll just click on this and then get your wallet, buy cryptocurrency, exchange for ARRR, transfer funds, mining. Then you can follow them, contribute and donate. And then here, let's just take a quick look at it about Pirate Chain. Let's see here. It just tells you a little bit about it. It goes to their blog here, but it tells you the basics of blockchain right here. And if you don't know anything about it, you can start from the beginning. And this is a pretty good synopsis of what blockchain is right here. Blockchain versus Bitcoin, public and private keys, like I just said. And I know I just went through a whole head full of stuff for people who are new to it, but you can find all the basics right here. And then what is Bitcoin? So do this blockchain first, then Bitcoin, and then get to Pirate Chain and see how it's built on all these concepts. So I've had to start from the very bottom, and I've gotten to where I am now. And I'm still barely touching the tip of the iceberg. So there is so much, and you'll never end in this journey of learning about crypto. But there's a lot of good stuff going on. Let's take a quick look at their roadmap. They have, in 2018 it came about, but they've done a lot of different stuff. They've created this Ghost OS. They've created the mining pools. They've created an Armada, which is vendors to be able to accept the R token. Here's the Ghost Ship OS right here. They've created wallets. Let me show you a quick little capture of their wallet here. This is the wallet. This is the full node wallet, and they also have a light wallet as well that came out in 2019. I obviously have 0R right now. That will change. There are some exchanges you can buy it on. You can buy it with Bitcoin, and you can buy it with Tether. As far as I know, they're on DEXs, decentralized exchanges, and on I don't think that any centralized exchanges have, as far as I know, but like Changely has it. Here's Changely.com. Hold on a minute. So Changely has it right here. Let's see here. Bitcoin to R. Pirate Chain R. Right there. So yeah, but you got to spend 0.04 Bitcoin, so it's 0.05. Okay, whatever. So maximum amount allowed. Okay, so I don't know, whatever. You get the point. Swap Zone is another one that has it, and we have Polarity Exchange. You can swap for Tether here. There's one called Trade Ogre, and it's built based on the Turtle network. Here's Trade Ogre. Hold on. Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. So here's Trade Ogre. Yeah. This is, I think, from what I've seen in the Telegram chats and all that stuff, this is seems to be the most commonly used one for people buying the R token from Bitcoin. And right up here at the top is Pirate Chain. Oh, sorry, I had this out in the way. All right here is the top is the Pirate Chain. So yeah, there's this one. Polarity Exchange is the one you can get from Tether. And I believe you can on Changely as well. Here's Swap Zone. Here's Changely. Let me get back to this Polarity Exchange. Why is this not pulling up? Okay, yeah. This one's a little more technical looking. Like layouts like this were really scary to me when I was first starting. So yeah, but yeah, I did also forget to mention that the Ghost Ship OS is based on the Tor network. And Tor project, if you don't know, is a completely private browser. And I know Brave browser can be private too, but this is like super private. As you can see here, I will show you this browser over here. This is the Tor browser and what it looks like. Let me take it. So this is, yeah, Tor browser right here. And they are also part of, here's what it looks like, the website on the Tor browser. So the Ghost Ship OS is built using the Tor technology, Tor network technology, and VPN technology, which is absolutely private, and it encrypts your location and it encrypts your IP address and everything. And Pirate Chain is part of the BPSAA, and that is what made the Pirate Chain mobile wallet app available on the Google Play Store. So if you want to download that wallet, you can for your mobile, I guess Android, not necessarily for your iOS. But it's a start, and this is basically a council of various projects and companies and everything like that are striving for privacy and security for blockchain. The BPSAA serves to educate the public on privacy and security in blockchain, as well as unite dedicated high-quality teams with each with unique expertise and bound by the fervent belief that cross-platform cooperation between projects will synergistically offer value-added features to development of new fintech solutions. Members of BPSAA are driven by a common ethos, interoperability amongst all. We set the standard for blockchain collaboration and innovation. As you can see, the Pirate Chain guys are some of the founding members. There's Turtle Network, Etho Protocol, Sentinel, Komodo, Ergo, Burst, and let's see here, BitTube. It's another private video streaming platform. Here's some of the project leaders. As you can see, most of them are anonymous, and it makes sense. They want their privacy. So so you might want to look into them as well. Let me close this out and get back to my Brave browser. That was a little aside on that. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Pirate Chain was recently at Anarchapulco. It was basically a kind of an event for privacy and libertarian ideals and stuff like that. So they're deep into the libertarian scene. There's the Light Wallet, an update for that. We have several interviews and lots of media around the Pirate Chain. So this is all on their website. There is another website called pirate.si. I'm not sure where that is here. I had it up, and here it is. This is a personal Pirate Chain website. I was told to follow the pirate.black one, but just so if you see this website, I don't think it's not a scam. This is just something independently done. So anyway, there's also this really good article here that kind of tells you about everything going on right now. We've entered the age of anonymous crypto, spurred by an information crisis, compounding global unrest. Privacy has entered the public consciousness. Recently, following a change to WhatsApp privacy policy, hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world left for other services. Signal, an encrypted messenger service, saw so many signups that it temporarily crashed. This was followed by a mass exodus from social media as Twitter and Facebook became embroiled in a debate on free speech and censorship, a chain of events that may signal a shift in how users value privacy. Ricardo Spangi, or Fluffy Pony, the former lead maintainer of privacy-centric cryptocurrency Monero, called this a watershed moment for privacy. People are realizing that you don't get privacy just handed to you. You have to stand up and take it, he told CoinDesk. And privacy is becoming more and more increasingly valuable. And you're able to monetize on your privacy now too with browsers like Brave browsers. So don't let Facebook and Google and Twitter and YouTube and all these people just take your data for free, then make billions of dollars off of you, and you never see a penny of it. What your life and your perspective and everything you do and see and touch and say and think is valuable, and it can be monetized. And we're headed towards an economy now where we aren't going to be shareholders anymore. We're going to be stakeholders. And if we don't, everything we do is going to be tokenized, and we're entering a tokenized society. And if we don't claim our ideas and tokenize them, then we're basically going to let others do it for us, and we're going to fall through the cracks. And like I said, the largest wealth transfer in entire history is happening right now, and everything is getting completely tokenized. Just like the World Economic Forum says, you will own nothing and you will be happy unless you own the tokens to that. So you better start stacking sats. That's basically what I'm saying. So anyway, and that's metaphorical for all these projects, not just sats on Bitcoin. The unit of a Bitcoin is broken down into satoshis, for those of you who don't know, which are called sats. For years, topics including anonymity, censorship resistant, and decentralization were the purview of political extremists armed with a pessimistic and even paranoid outlook. The forefathers of cryptocurrency engineered tools like Bitcoin for a world where civilization had fallen. But now, spurred on by an information crisis and compounding global unrest, privacy has entered private consciousness. All this is happening right now too. A lot of the things that we thought were conspiracy theories last April, regarding this virus situation that's going on? Those people are just conspiracy theorists. Well, you know what? Right now, we're actually seeing that these things are actually happening. And what we would have thought was a conspiracy theory last April, and now this year, is becoming a reality. So think about that type of stuff when you're thinking about your own privacy as well. If you've ever seen that Black Mirror episode and the social credit, well, that's all done on a blockchain. How else do you think they would do that? That information, is it private? We don't know. But anyway, yeah. Let's take a look here real quick. I did want to show you the Armada directory, and this is a list of vendors that accept the R token for their goods and services and stuff like that. And if you are a company or a website or an e-commerce website or anything that wants to accept R as a payment, you can get an API link to be able to implement that into your website and to be able to accept R token on your website and or for your goods or services or products or whatever. So this is available. There's a whole lot more stuff to go into, but for time and expediency, I do need to cut this short. But I will link all this stuff in the description. You can go down a rabbit hole. Feel free to give me a DM. Please give me a thumbs up. It helps if you believe that what I'm offering is providing you value and knowledge. Then just thumbs up. I'm not out here trying to bum money or anything like that, and I'm not sponsored by anybody or shilling anybody, and I'm definitely not associated with the R token or the pirate chain or anything like that. Nobody's guided me or directed me or told me what to say or what to do. This is all me. I just want to learn about this stuff, and this is why I do this every single day, because I'm passionate about every single thing that's happening, and I believe it's essential for survival in this new fourth industrial revolution coming up that we are currently just beginning to get into. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the morning show tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to be broadcasting on Theta Network. So yeah. Yes, like I said, if you did enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you're seeing this on Odyssey or Library TV, touch that little fire icon and let me know what you think. And you can give me a like and subscribe, follow me on Twitter and all that stuff. All right, bye. Oh, I'm on Float app too. Just wanted to show you that real quick. This is a decentralized type of Twitter. So yeah, go on here to float.app, flote.app, and you can look for me, Eureka John. All right, well, I'll talk to you later.